Hi, a pick a card reading in this video for the sign of Aries. Thanks for joining me. I'm Andy, and this week we are using the Starman Tarot. The first videos I've done with this one by David De Angelis, and it's inspired, as it says here, by art that he created for David Bowie. So this is a fantastic deck. Actually, it's really colourful. And I've been enjoying working with it, so I hope you're going to enjoy this as well. So Aries, which card do you pick then? There's three here. 1, 2, 3. What's it going to be? Well, let's turn over the first one and see what's going on with that. Okay. And it's the Prince of Swords. Wow. He looks kind of beat up, this character, Aries. And if you picked this card, I guess things haven't been feeling too sort of smooth flowing for you guys. But, you know, danger is kind of imminent. It's not necessarily happened. He does look very beat up, though. Maybe he's just recovering from something. Doesn't look like he's had an easy time. But it's the swords. It's the air signs, basically. So this is Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, somewhere around you. And if this is a love reading for you, then look out for those characters somewhere in your love life. It's the swords, so there's a lot of thinking going on. There's decisions to be made here, and a very powerful image, all kinds of colourfulness going on here. Now you see we've got the dog there, and he reminds me a bit of the dog in The Fool's Journey, actually, at this point, because there's some kind of hidden danger going on. There's something to be aware of. I do feel that the main danger has passed, but look, we've got dynamite down here, and there's a clock ticking on it as well. It's very close to 0 there. So, who knows? Let's have a think about that, though. Now, this being a sword card, as I was saying, it's air signs, so it's the air energy, and it's the fiery side of air, really. And what you've got to do is stand your ground, Aries, and fight for what you believe in, if you pick this card. Sometimes you've got to give up things that you hold really dear to you if you're really going to achieve greatness and actually get somewhere, make a difference in life and make a difference in love, because those two things actually go together. So we're seeing something of the wounded healer going on here, the wounded healer going on here. But this character really needs quite a lot of healing, and you get the feeling that the only way is up. So is this a man in your life, or are you a man and this is you in a woman's life? Or who is it? Someone around you maybe, someone who can possibly help. But this decision needs to be made. So you'll have been actually thinking for some time, Aries, should I give up on a particular path that I've been walking on? Is it taking me in the wrong direction? The chances are it's not the whole thing that's wrong, because what we do with our intuition is always very strongly guided. But you may have taken a slight wrong turn. You might have left something behind that you wanted to bring with you. You see, we've got a lock and chains here, but they're not actually holding his legs together. We've got the figure of 8 of infinity as well, and that's making me think of the magician. So you will actually have the tools to be able to break those chains if you need to, and you will actually be able to make progress. But it is about thinking, maybe leaving something behind, maybe leaving the whole thing behind and taking a new direction, Aries. The choice is entirely yours. But something needs to change, and something really ought to change when we get this card coming up. So that is the Prince of Swords. That's the first card in this reading for the sign of Aries. So let's just turn him back over there, and we'll move on to card number 2. So we'll turn over number 2. And there it is, number 6, the Lovers. That's a wonderful magical number, and it's a wonderful magical card as well, Aries. Did you pick this one? Well, this is looking very good, but there is some transformation needed to really make the most of it, to really make things happen. This card in the major arcana is associated with Gemini, so it's Gemini energy here. Is there a Gemini in your life? Now, it doesn't actually have to be the lover who is a Gemini, because there are always more than one person involved in any relationship. You know, there's that person's past loves, there's your past loves, there's your past life, there's the other person's past life. And we need to bring things together in a way of harmony. We can see, I'm not sure if they're bees or wasps, but they're all absolutely all over. I can't pronounce wasps, so perhaps they're bees. They don't look as if they're going to sting anybody, though. And you see, these characters are not at all worried about them. although they represent a kind of danger in a way. And the only danger with this card really is not really and truly surrendering at a deep level into the relationship, into the love that's either coming your way now or maybe it's already come your way. It's all about kind of two-way communication with relationships. That's so important. And very often, when there's a problem, we clam up and we don't want to tell the other person. Or more often than not, the other person begins to clam up and we don't understand why. This can be very difficult at the very beginning of a relationship because it's always so passionate when we actually start on a relationship, isn't it? Very strong passions come up, especially when you feel close to each other and you feel kind of this is it. It's that powerful energy of love. And what happens if we went on with that degree of passion forever, then someone would actually die. In fact, we'd probably both die, and then that would be the end of the relationship, wouldn't it? Because the human body and the human mind can't function at that high level forever. It becomes really difficult and it becomes unsustainable. And unfortunately, what usually happens is one person begins to cool off with the passion before the other person. It can be either person in a relationship, of course. Now, if that's happening around you, Aries, don't let that become a worry, okay? Someone cooling down is usually much more to do with the relationship becoming sustainable and something that you can actually go on forever, go on into the future with, than it has to do with actual feelings coming apart and things falling apart in that way. It's just really a cooling down, and I can see that going on because there's so much passion, so much colour in this card, but we've got the water at the bottom of the card here flowing, and that is always a sign of cleansing, and of course it's a sign of cooling as well, because that's one thing that water is really very good at. What needs to happen here really is that we need to actually be able to see ourselves in the other person and share a passion of life, because as the depth of the love grows, it matures, and then you need to be able to accept what will be from one moment to the next. That actually is much more expansive than it sounds, because that acceptance really pushes things forward in a very positive way. Really, this card is full of positivity, and it's all about balance and harmony, and whatever's going on at the moment, Aries, really is angled towards that. Particularly if it feels hopeless, if it feels like it's going nowhere, this card says take heart, because it's the lovers as much as anything else. And we were talking a minute ago about it being important to have other people coming along with you, because we're all part of a society, we're all a pack animal, we need that. So actually seek that connection rather than trying to shut yourselves away as a couple. Seek that connection, and where ideas are opposite, you can blend them into one, basically. It's a choice, and you've really got to accept yourself as you are, and that allows you then to give and receive much more freely, because if you're in any way kind of trying to change yourself or make the other person change, then you are moving away from the energy that brought you together in the first place. Now, life is change, but that change needs to happen as a couple, and that really is the best way to get forward. So there we go. Card number 2, the lovers. If you chose that one, it's looking very good. Probably looking better. Probably looking really a lot better in real life than it feels to you at the moment. So let those fears go, and just be accepting of yourself, and as much as possible, be accepting of the other person. Okay, we'll turn that one over, and then we'll move on to card number 3. So let's turn over and see what we've got. And it's the Ace of Wands. Now, this is fantastic energy. Loads of alchemy in this card, and it really, really shows new things coming into being. So this is very positive. You see here, it's as if this wand is pregnant. There's some sperm swimming about there, and generally it's showing the meaning of life as it evolves, as it turns into new things. A very fiery card, of course, and being a Wands card, it's a fire sign energy card. So this is actually you, Aries, also Leo or Sagittarius, somewhere around you, maybe even somewhere in your birth chart. Now, Wands are always about getting things done and making things happen. So if you chose this card, Aries, things are going to be on the move for you very soon, if they're not already. Do you feel this fire inside you? Maybe you already do. If not, it's going to be building up. Things are going to be changing. We're coming into the return of the light in the northern hemisphere, at least at the moment. So there's a great awakening. There's a great enlightening going on. And you really are this wand, if you ask me. That's the feeling I really get as I look at this, that you are the wand. We actually all do have that magic within us, and there's great alchemy shown in this card. Of course, it's all about what we draw to us, and if we allow ourselves to have that energy flowing through us, then we really do draw a lot more to us, because the energy thing is like a conveyor belt. If you've got good ideas coming in, if you've got a passion to get something done, and you've got all this fire going on, then you need to use it to let the next string of magic come into your life. That's so important. Now we're looking at a lot of creative insight in this card, Aries, and a drive and a passion to really create something new. You'd be using skills you've already got, because the universe never brings us these things until we're actually ready to use the energy or to do something with it. So really draw on your own resources. That's really important. But this is all about creating something new. So you'll be using those skills, you'll be using those feelings in a way you've never used them before. It's a very quick burst of energy. It's passionate, so there'll be something you're passionate about, most particularly in your love life, I feel, with this card, Aries. And you've got to kind of go in a passionate way of going about it to really make the passion make sense and come to life. You can actually be drawn in a bit too close to this. It'd be easy to get too burned by it, because there is so much fire there. It's kind of mesmerizing, and that can actually result in it being very difficult to honour the goals that you have and to actually go with the flow of your dreams. But take notice of those dreams, because they are all significant. You can just be a little bit too passionate for things when this comes up, because all this passionate energy is burning away here. But the thing to do is draw on your own inner magic. If you've got an altar or something, use that. Maybe light a candle would be a simpler thing to do. But do some meditation, look at that candle flame, and then you'll get the intuition going, your own intuition. That's what it's all about. But the spiritual input will come into your own intuition, and it will show you where that passion's going, where it's taking you, and it'll also show you just how powerful it can be, because these are subtle things. We're awake all day, we're not in our dream world, we're not meditating most of the time, and so because of that we feel a bit detached from it. We don't always get in touch with the actual drama of what's going on, and of course if it's too dramatic we want to detach from that drama, don't we? But look, pregnant with possibilities, and the whole life cycle looks as if it's starting again here. We've got to really know, Aries, where is that life cycle actually going? There are so many different versions of life, so many different ways of life. So where is it taking you? Do you actually need to change your own way of life, or your way of seeing a way of life, to fit in with someone else? Do they need to change to fit in with you? There's a great coming together in this card, and it's so fiery and it's so passionate. Well, I'm going to wrap this reading up there. That is the Starman Tarot for the sign of Aries. I'm doing this in early March of 2020, but the best time to watch these things is really right now when you're looking at them. Let's just turn them over again and have another look, because that was a fantastic journey there. Okay, so those are the cards I got for Aries, and the one you picked is the one for you, believe me, even if it doesn't feel like it, because that is how these things always, absolutely invariably work. Somehow the psychic influencers know what's going on, and if you chose a card, you were the real psychic there, okay? I'm doing some psychic channeling, obviously, as I give out the meanings for these cards, but you really were the magic behind choosing whichever card you chose. So it really will mean something, Aries. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic week ahead. I'll be back very soon with more readings. So keep it real, keep it twig, brother. And do leave me a comment, actually, guys, as well. Do leave me a comment. It's great for me to zero into the energy of who I'm actually doing these readings for. It makes such a big difference. And share me around the social media if you can. Let's get the word out, because we are drawn together as a kind of soul tribe here on YouTube. The internet is better at that than many people realise. So there we go. Hope this means a lot to you. If it doesn't now, it soon will. And I'll be back soon. Peace.